starts out with showing the most excellent way drug and alcohol recovery. And the reason I did that this time was because so many Indian pastors requested it. I'd done that several years ago, and there's a very serious alcohol problem in India, and they needed a way to approach that from a Christian point of view. And one of the things is that they make a lot of the alcohol in their homes, in their village huts, and they make the women do it. So over a period of time, the women started tasting it, and now women have an alcohol problem in India. You can, if you think of a little sandwich bag, a little Ziploc sandwich bag, you can buy one of those full of clear alcohol, homemade, for about 10 rupees. That's about maybe 20 cents, 25 cents, somewhere in there. And these people get paid by the day, and they stop on the way home and they have one of those, and sometimes they feel like having more than one. If they make 100 rupees a day, and they're spending a fourth of it or a half of it, there's very little left for their family. Bonnie and the women from East Valley have started the Women Helping Women Project, and we are through that program. Pastor Timothy's wife, Sue, is heading up a reading, a literacy program for the village ladies, and she just sent me an email yesterday saying that already some of them can read the Bible. And they all start out as Hindus, of course. A pastor's wife, Esther, is a trained nurse. She's an RN. And so she is doing the part of the Women Helping Women program having to do with women's hygiene and all of it. Cancer, uterine cancer is very prevalent in India because they don't know how to take care of themselves. So this is a very big deal at both villages. The church at Holagunda is new. We dedicated it when I was there last time. And there was a man and a woman waiting to be the first people baptized. And so they like to get a Bible name when they come up out of the water, sometimes. And so we ask them ahead of time, are you going to want a Bible name? And a biblical name. And so, sometimes they have one in mind, sometimes they say no, but most of the time they say, yeah, we want you to give a Bible name. When Cindy was there one time, I didn't know that. And the woman came out of the water, and Pastor Timothy said, give her a Bible name. And you know me well enough to know that I'm not good at thinking on my feet. So I blanked out. But Cindy said, Lydia. So Lydia now attends our church and has been for several years. Well, this lady that I baptized at Holagunda, as soon as she became old enough, and I don't know how old you have to be to do this, probably 14 or 15, her parents dedicated her to a Hindu temple as a temple prostitute against her wishes. There was no Christianity in the village until our church came there. Well, her daughter started to come to the church before the building was even built. We were using a little rented house. And her daughter became a Christian and started to talk to her mother, who was still a temple prostitute. And her mother wanted to become a Christian, so she got out of the prostitution. And that's very hard to do. It's a wonder they didn't kill her, because they don't like that. They don't like that at all, especially to become a Christian. So there she was, ready to get baptized, the first person. So I was talking, and they said, she's going to want a Bible name. And so I was with a friend, Carl. I said, what shall we name her? And he said, let's name her Chloe. And I said, where do you find that in the Bible? And he said, it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 11. And it has to do with Paul wanting unity in the church. And I thought, well, that's a good deal for here, because the Hindus are fighting the Christians. So, when she came out of the water, people all around, and they said, what are you going to name her? And I said, Chloe. And in the confusion factor, which was constantly confusion factor, it came out when, by the time she came up the steps and was out in the group, her name had been Glory. And that's even better. So Carl looked at me and he said, that's even better. And I said, do you think that was the Holy Spirit? He says, I think it was. So we now have the two churches. We have a third church that we are just getting underway up in northern India, where Bobby was. And so I'm going to let him take over and talk about his experiences in northern India.